Hi, it's Nørgaard. So welcome to my channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. So today I'm doing a review and wear test of this Technic concealer. This is the 3-in-1 canvas, and as you can probably imagine, this is supposed to be a dupe of the Tarte Shape Tape. So this retails for £4 on Technic's website, and Technic always has discount codes, so definitely try and find one before you purchase from there. But basically in today's video I'm going to do a wear test of this concealer. I'm going to wear it for a long period of time and show you how it wears throughout the day. There are so many good like Tarte Shape Tape concealer dupes on the market today. I really don't think it's necessary to buy shape tape anymore. Like, I'm thinking about e.l.f, L'Oreal, W7, this Technic one. Like, there are so many dupes out there. But anyway, enough talking, let's get right into the review and the wear test. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you can also click the bell to get post notifications. Now without further ado, let's get right into the wear test. Okay, so I'm going to do a wear test of this Technic concealer today. This is the 3-in-1 Canvas Contour, Sculpt and Conceal concealer, and I have it in the color Porcelain. So it looks like this. I really like the packaging. It's very simple and very sleek and just very, you know, understated and very nice, I think. And it does come with a huge doe foot applicator. So of course it's supposed to be kind of Technic's version of the Tarte Shape Tape, which again has the huge doe foot. And just for reference, even though the Technic one looks bigger, you only get 8 milliliters in the Technic one and you get 10 in Tarte. So you actually get more product in the Tarte one, only a little bit, but still. But anyway, I'm going to use this as my concealer today. So I'm going to, of course, do the under eyes and, you know, the T-zone. And you can see a lot of product gets distributed with just one dip into the container. And I have the color Porcelain, and this is the lightest color, and as you can see it's not that light actually. So if you are fair, what I actually do is I mix it with a white concealer, also by Technic, and that really works to brighten things up. Okay, so I'm blending it out with a mini sponge. This one is by W7. So what I'm noticing right away is that it doesn't have much coverage. It seems to be blending out a lot. And also if you see me sweating, please don't mind it. It's so hot today. Okay, I'm seeing a little more coverage on my chin, so maybe my sponge was just absorbing too much product up here on my forehead. And of course the real test is the under eye, because I'm not wearing any foundation or any coverage underneath my eyes. So let's see how it does. I'm going to just blend it out. So it's actually blending out beautifully. It's very, very easy to blend. And underneath the eyes it does seem to have a lot of coverage actually. And personally I wouldn't say it's as matte as the Tarte one, but it is still like pretty matte. It's not matte like in a bad sense, it's just kind of like it sets a little bit. So if you like a very like creamy and hydrating concealer, I think this one is probably not it. But if you like something like Tarte Shape Tape and, you know, kind of the self-setting concealers, I think you could like this. Of course, let's see how it wears, but so far I'm actually very pleased. And I have actually worn this concealer before. I don't know if I told you, but I've never really paid any attention to how it wore. So I'm going to set it with my trusty Fenty Beauty powder, and this one is the Lavender. And before I go in with my powder, I'm just going to make sure I blend out the creases underneath the eyes. And the creasing is very minimal. Very, very minimal. Like, I don't have any concealers that are truly self-setting, but this one is pretty close. But anyway, I'm setting the under eye area just with the same sponge, the other side of the sponge and the powder. And then of course I'm setting the rest of the concealer. And I'm wearing black sweatpants, so this is gonna be a nightmare to clean up. But like, I just can't do my makeup without my loose powder. Like, I need to bake for real. Okay, so I just let that sit while I apply powder to the rest of my face, and I'll be back once I sweep it away so we can see how it all looks. Okay, so I'm going to start stamping away the bake. And so far it looks good. But I mean, these powders, both the Fenty and the Wet n Wild powders that I'm using as my all over face powders, these powders are very reliable. So if something were to look cakey or something, I would know it would be the concealer. But so far it really does look really good. Definitely could be a little lighter, but as I said, this is the lightest color. So yeah, I would mix it with a white concealer because it's not giving me like a lot of contrast with my foundation color. And see how the mustache is doing. I get so sweaty on my upper lip, it's like ridiculous. It's looking a little bit crusty on my upper lip, but I think that's just down to sweat. But of course, let's see the under eye area, how that is looking. And I might use my fluffy powder brush. And when I remove my bake, I never sweep it away, I just kind of pounce it in. Because if I start sweeping, it starts to look awful. My mustache is really starting to look gross. This happens to me a lot in the summertime. But anyway, the concealer underneath the eyes, like that placement, it looks great. It has lots of coverage and it's not looking cakey or creasy or anything. So far I don't have anything bad to say about this concealer. It has nice coverage, it blends out beautifully, and it sets beautifully. Honestly, the only con is that it only comes in 5 shades. That's way too little. I think it should be at least 10 shades. But everything else I actually love. I love how it applied, love how it blended out, I love how little it creased before I set, and I love how it's looking now that I've set it. I love the coverage and I love the packaging. And I also really like how much is on the doe foot. Sometimes with some concealers, they just don't give you enough product at once. You have to continuously dip down and apply more. So far so good. Now of course we'll have to see how it wears. I will apply the rest of my makeup and then I will check in and just let you know what the final look is. And then I will wear the concealer throughout the day and I will check in later tonight. Right now it is 1 p.m. so I will see you once I'm all done. Okay, so I'm all done with my makeup. I did a little blue eye look. And it is now 3 o'clock, so the concealer has been on for 2 hours. It still looks great, nothing has changed. It still looks great underneath the eyes. You know, I'm loving it so far. Okay, so this is a very informal video style, but I'm not at home right now. I'm at my boyfriend's place. But I want to give you guys an update on the concealer. It is now 10:30 at night, so the concealer has been on for over 9.5 hours. And as you can see, it's starting to crease down here on both eyes, and I did actually touch it up, and I used this foundation stick by Wet n Wild. This is the Photo Focus in Soft Ivory. I used that to touch it up together with my Fenty Invisiblot. It doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look great either. It was kind of settling into my fine lines. But I have been outside, I have been kind of like squinting, it has been very sunny, and I am really tired right now. But yeah, this is what it's looking like after 9.5 hours. Okay, so that was my review and wear test of this Technic 3-in-1 Canvas Concealer. I do really like this concealer. I think it is a very good drugstore concealer. As you could see, I was getting some creasing underneath my eyes. That usually does not happen to me that often. I think it was because I was outside in the sun without sunglasses or anything, so I was kind of squinting a little bit throughout the day. So that made the concealer kind of gunk up into little lines. Other than that, I really love this concealer. I love the coverage and I love how easy it is to blend out. And I really love how it stays on the face. You know, it stays and doesn't become super shiny. But it doesn't dry out my under eye either. So I think this is actually a great concealer. The only problem is that it only comes in like 5 shades. It's so limited in the shade selection. And as I said, I do wear the lightest shade and I have to mix it with a white concealer typically to get it to be light enough for me to use as a highlighting concealer. So I really wish Technic would expand the shade selection. I think that would be great. But if you can find a shade that matches you, I would definitely recommend it. And that is basically my take on this concealer. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And you can also click the bell to get post notifications. And that is all. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. So take care and bye bye.